My name is Dion Haig. I'm the Managing Director for Alliance One here in Uganda and Kenya. Alliance One is an international company that specializes in trading of tobacco, which is green tobacco. And green tobacco means basically from farm to the sales to manufacturers. Well, from my perspective, I was really privileged to be right from the beginning, from the planning stages, right the way through to where we are today. So my role previously was operations and investment for Alliance One in Africa. So I had a good opportunity to be part of the planning stage of this entry. And to that end, when we first arrived, it was a complete and utter new company. We had to start from fresh and engage farmers, employ all our 280 staff, and then basically get the farmers who were in the field to trust what we were doing and move our ethos, that is basically Alliance One, to the farmers and then translate that back into our business model. As Alliance One, we came in, as I mentioned earlier, was very fresh, and we had the opportunity to see how to build a brand new company from the start. It's not often a corporate company gets an opportunity to do that. So we came in here with the knowledge of how to grow tobacco, but also not only the knowledge of tobacco, but how we can develop better the farmers. So the strategies that we employed for improving the farmer livelihoods, that's basically their income, was able to evaluate that from the beginning. So where do we see ourselves? We've met our first targets in our first 2 years, and those are our financial targets. And then for the farmers, what have they gained out of this? They had a company that was specifically focused on tobacco growing. And what we've done with that is we've realized that the farmers and the environment that we're working in here is different to the rest of Africa. So we need to specialize and go back to the drawing board, because the business model we implement here works in the rest of Africa, but in Uganda it's unique because of the competition that we face in the growing side, which is inherent to Uganda from our previous companies that we've worked here, and also our opposition that we're working with right now. So that is one thing that we need to work on, which is farmer loyalty. And we need to get the farmer loyalty in the long run, because that's what our business model is built around. So far we've had 2 seasons, and in our 2 seasons what we've achieved here is total income produced into the country is 230 billion shillings. So you can see from that investment it's substantial, and that covers everything from running the companies to paying the farmers for their tobaccos, and then also the subsidiaries that are supporting the industry, which come from the forests, come from the transport, the taxes, and all of those things are all built into that number. Over the last 2 years, we've had to pay taxes which are different to different countries and unique to Uganda. There was a 20-cent tax that was imposed on any tobacco exported green, and on that basis, over the last 2 years, we've had to spend over and above our normal tax bracket of about 6.2 million US dollars, which in other countries would not actually be there. So this is actually detrimental to us selling tobacco out of Uganda, because it becomes uncompetitive. As I said to you at the beginning, the brightest thing for us was the opportunity to start from fresh. And when I say start from fresh, it's basically dealing with the farmers, using our knowledge and strategies to build the company. So our opportunities here are absolutely massive. And why do I say massive? Is that in any of the other tobacco growing areas I've worked in Africa, none have I seen so rich soils, dedicated farmers, and the opportunity for us to expand the volumes and growth is mainly dependent on the competitiveness of our tobaccos here in Uganda. So in Uganda as itself, I would say the opportunity is huge. However, we need to compete on an international scale with regards the cost of our sales of tobacco. I think they both go hand in hand, and from a regulatory side is, as I mentioned before, what is reducing or affecting the growth is the 20-cent tax that we're actually paying at the moment, and that tax limits what we do on a bigger picture, and by us being limited to who we can sell to at a competitive price will definitely reduce the ability for investment in the country. And as that, we as Alliance One Uganda need to reach a threshold of volume in order to justify a investment. And it's a chicken and egg scenario that we're sitting at right now, is that the volume and the taxes don't meet. So the government are enjoying the tax, but we cannot invest because we're not able to meet that minimum threshold because of customer support. So on the manufacturing side, we do intend to invest when we reach a minimum threshold in the country. In our first year, we, as operational costs to Alliance One was 116 billion shillings. Of that, 62 billion shillings was given directly back to the farmers. So you can take that, it's at almost 50% of whatever our budgets are, is what we're actually seeing going back into the farmers' hands. And if you take the total budget for the government budgeted 504 billion for 2015. So that's 10%. We're running at 10% of the government budget for agriculture in Uganda. So quite substantial numbers. And also if you think about the support for the farmers, that's 62 billion in the first year, the second year 54 billion. And the reason for the slight drop in the second year was we had a much drier season. I think also the structuring that we had is Alliance One, when they first came in order to do that, we had to employ staff as well. So it's not only about the farmers, we also add value to the country by employing staff. We employ 282 permanent staff, and during our seasonal operations in the 3 different regions of Uganda, we employ over 1,000 people. I think it's a fantastic question, because yes, if I was in their hands, I would meet that minimum threshold that we keep preaching is your one ton or your 1 hectare, and from that 1 hectare, the returns from 1 hectare, if you follow all the things that Alliance One agronomy team are teaching you, I think the opportunities are huge for farmers to move from the lower income status to a middle income status. And yeah, it's very exciting at the moment. And as I said to you earlier, it's probably one of the most fertile countries I've ever worked in. And not only on that basis, food security we offer, tree security we're offering, and overall the sustainability and viability of our farmers. Because at the end of the day, if the farmer is not sustainable and the farmer is not viable to himself, Alliance One business model doesn't work.
My name is Tom Sawyer and I work as the head of agronomy for Alliance One Tobacco Uganda. Alliance One is everything to me. It's my family at this stage. It's a fantastic organization, and I think we're doing fantastic work with the farmers. We are implementing many policies, new changes in the agronomic production of tobacco in the country. which is all very exciting. Challenging at times, but very exciting. The first one that comes to mind is certified seed regulation, which must become mandatory. The government needs to step in and enforce the certified seed production system in the country and get rid of all homegrown or farmer retained seed for us to be able to progress in tobacco production for our customers. They insist on certified seed, and homegrown seed is not acceptable. The first one that comes to mind is the regulation of certified seed production in Uganda. At the moment, farmers are using retained seed, which to our customers is unacceptable, and we have to have a system in the country where certified seed is used to produce the tobacco. The first one that comes to mind is the regulation of certified seed in Uganda. At the moment, there's a system in the country where farmers are growing homegrown seed and, to a degree, certified seed. Our customers are insisting on certified seed production only, and for us to progress forward, we have to have a system in place to ensure that only certified seed is produced in Uganda. The second policy change should be farmer association should be created in Uganda, where all farmers are represented, have a unified body, and they're able to take their grievances to the government in one unified format to both the growing companies and the government for changes to be implemented and for decisions to be made on a fair basis to all tobacco growers. The third policy change should be in the form of tree production. There should be a system in the country where government implements compulsory measures for all tobacco producers to grow trees in respect to the hectares that they grow of tobacco. Where necessary, government should make land available for these farmers for mass production of trees for the industry to survive. The fourth policy change could be in the form of seed and trials, seed trials, variety trials, and production trials with government trial institutes within Uganda. Today we had a fantastic day. It was a very good day. We had an enjoyable afternoon with the farmers. And the fourth policy change or policy implementation that could assist the Ugandan farmers is the development of tobacco research in the government research centres for both the farmer and the companies to prosper from. The tobacco farmers in Uganda can expect huge yield and quality improvements as long as they follow the new GAP policies that the company is trying to implement in the field. Farmers are adopting, but the process is slow. We need to ensure that they speed up, and these new changes will improve their livelihoods, improve everything to do with their production, and farmers would benefit 100% from the new GAP systems.